So I just saw BrightBurn and it made me think, why did he become a mass murderer? And don't get me wrong, he was always going to be a little murderous piece of shit, for sure. But it's different being a little murderous piece of shit than being a mass murderer. Because at first he was only killing people that he felt wronged him, but then he was killing hundreds of people at a time. So my question is, what the heck? Where was the shift? And also, could the parents have prevented it? Well, let's see. Because at first everything was normal. Well, not normal. He did come in a spaceship from another planet. But besides that, and also he didn't know that, so it's fine. But whatever, everything seems normal until one night BrightBurn is sleeping and then his spaceship calls him while he's sleeping. He's like, yo, psst, hey, BrightBurn, it's me, your spaceship. Come. So he makes BrightBurn sleepwalk to where the spaceship is, and then the mom catches that. So the mom goes to look for BrightBurn and he's at the door of the shed trying to get it open. That's where the spaceship is in. And then she like wakes him up and he's like, oh, what happened? She's like, oh, you were just sleepwalking. Shh. And then they go back to sleep. The whole commotion wakes the dad up, and then he goes to the wife and he's like, yo, like, what happened? And she's like, oh, BrightBurn was sleeping. And then he's like, where? And she's like, downstairs. Let's go back to bed. What are you talking about? If your son is sleepwalking to the spaceship that you didn't tell him that was there or that even exists, maybe we should have this conversation. Why is he sleepwalking to that spaceship? How did he find it? Why does he want to get into that door so bad? But no, she's just like, he was just sleepwalking downstairs. Let's go back to sleep. First stupid fucking ridiculous mistake. The next day, BrightBurn and his dad are doing shit in the backyard, and then the dad is like, oh, finish mowing the lawn, and then BrightBurn is like, oh, okay, cool. So he tries to get the lawnmower to turn on, but he can't, so he like yanks it super hard, and it flies like several yards away. So he's like, what the fuck? So he goes to the lawnmower and he sees that the blade is still spinning, and his first instinct is to like shove his hand in the blade, which is insane. Like, I know you just discovered that you have superpowers, but you don't know that you're invulnerable yet. But whatever, he goes and he shoves his hand in the blade and the blade breaks. So then he's like, oh, I'm indestructible. So he was right. Like in this scenario, he was right. Because like, oh, fuck. Now he's like, oh, I'm indestructible. Awesome. But I never saw a conversation of the parents like, hey, what happened to the lawnmower? Why is the blade bashed into pieces? What did you do? What were you trying to mow? No, they never had that conversation. That could have been the first conversation of like, oh, mom, dad, I think I have superpowers. Maybe BrightBurn would hide it at first. I don't know. But it could have been a conversation. It should have been a conversation. But whatever, later on, they go and celebrate his birthday, and like they're having a good time, they're chilling, and then the uncle's like, oh, here, happy birthday. I got you a fucking gun. And the dad is like, what did I tell you? Like, don't get my son a gun. Are you insane? And then BrightBurn is like, oh, come on, please, but I want it. Like, I'm old enough. And the dad is like, no, you're not gonna have a gun. You're a child. And then BrightBurn is like, I want it. And then everybody's like, what the fuck was that behavior? That was insane. By the way, don't be getting kids guns. Are you stupid? Especially if the dad told you not to do it. Like, you're an idiot and an asshole for that. You're fucked up for that. But you cannot be yelling at me in front of everybody in a restaurant on your birthday. Even if it's not your birthday. Don't yell at me, bitch. The next day, they get ready to go camping, and BrightBurn is eating breakfast, but he's like spaced out and chewing on his fork. And then that is like, hey, BrightBurn, we're talking to you. Like, are you listening? And he sees that BrightBurn fucked up the fork with his mouth, and that is just like, what the fuck? But there's no follow-up questions like, hey, are you okay? Your teeth, what's going on? Like, why did you do this to this fork? And then BrightBurn would have been like, I don't know, I'm spaced out. There hasn't been not one conversation where they have sat him down and like been regular parents. They're pissing me off. Then they're in BrightBurn's room and they're like going through his stuff, and they see under the bed that he has pictures of like women in bikinis and bras, and they're like, oh, this is so funny. Like, this is his idea of porn. That's funny. But then they find pictures of body parts and guts and shit like that, and then they're like, this is insanity. And then she's like, were you ever into shit like this? And he's like, no, I wasn't. So later on, they go hunting, and the dad is like, hey, like, I know you're getting at this age where you're like interested in women, and like you might be thinking about sex or masturbation and things like that, but like, you know, all that stuff is not about guts. Like, you know that, right? Like, I know he's trying to have an awkward conversation with his kid about sex, which must be like, it's not fun. That's not fun for nobody. But you have to ask him straight up, like, what's going on with the body parts? Like, what's going on there? Like, he just beats around the bush. Oh, but you know, sex is not about guts and body parts and stuff like that, right? You know that, right? No, Brandon, what is going on with the fucking body parts? This is weird. By the way, they could only talk to him like this for now because he's still not a psychopath. Like, he still hasn't become a full psychopath. So they could still kind of like be kind of rough with him and talk to him like sternly. They could still do that for now. But that time is running out very quickly. Later on that night, while the parents are sleeping, BrightBurn sneaks away and flies to the house of the little girl that he has a crush on. And he's trying to be romantic. Like, I know he's trying to be sweet, but he's doing it in the most insane way possible. While she's sleeping, he turns on her computer and plays a song that's like, I guess he thinks is romantic, music. So she wakes up freaking the fuck out because I didn't turn on the computer. So what the fuck was that? She goes to the computer tentatively and then like she turns off the music and closes her laptop. Maybe she's like, okay, I'm tripping, whatever. But she turns around, and when she turns around, the music turns on again and she sees her laptop open, and then she's like, okay, what the fuck is happening? So she closes her laptop and puts a book on top of it, and then she's like, okay. And then she looks outside the window and she sees BrightBurn there standing fucking weirdly. And that's how you know the parents have never sat down and talked to him. Because if that's his idea of romance, of like what's sweet, and it doesn't cross his mind that, hey, this might be fucking insanity, that's literally the parents' fault. So far, everything that has happened has been poor parenting. Yes, some of it has to do with the spaceship and like him going through puberty in an insane way. But it's also the parents have never sat down and talked to him. It literally has been bad parenting so far. The next day, the mom is talking to the aunt and she's like, dude, I don't know, like BrightBurn has been acting weird. Like he used to be my little boy, you know, and now he's acting kind of insane. And the aunt is like, well, he is going through puberty, and teenagers and like those kids going through puberty are fucking insanity. They're fucking crazy, which is true. He is going through puberty. Kids in puberty are insane. I used to be one. And also like his puberty might be completely different than our puberty. Who knows how people are in those planets? They could be a fucking planet full of Viltrumites pretty much. You don't know. So if the mom knows that he's not from this planet, yeah, like maybe their puberty is different. She should have a conversation with him. Now is when you should tell him like, hey, you're not from this planet, and I know you're going through changes and your body's changing and everything's changing, so you need to tell me about those changes right now. Like right now, tell me everything that's going on in your brain and your mind and your body right now. You need to tell me. They know he's an alien. Why wouldn't you be concerned? The only one that seems to be concerned about what's going on with BrightBurn is the dad, but the mom keeps gaslighting him into being like, oh, it's fine, and then dad is like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe it is fine. No, it's not. This has never happened before in the history of Earth. Never. Nobody has ever raised a child that came from another planet. So maybe we should be a little concerned. Later on that night, the dad wakes up and sees BrightBurn in front of the chickens, and the chickens are going insane, and he's just like staring at the chickens, and the dad is like, hey, is everything okay? And BrightBurn is like, yeah, everything's fine. And then the dad is like, okay, let's go to bed. What were you doing standing in front of the chickens? We've seen these chickens since you were born. What's so interesting about them now? What's going on? This is weird, BrightBurn. You're being weird. But no, he goes to bed. Then he hears a loud noise, and he hears like the chickens going crazy again. And when he goes and checks on the chickens, they're all dead. The door's ripped open, and the dad goes to the mom like, okay, this was BrightBurn. He did this shit. He was standing in front of the chickens before, and he was like acting weird. And now I come back, and the chickens are all dead. And the mom is like, oh, maybe it was a fox, or maybe it was a wolf. Like, you don't know. And he's like, bitch, wolves cannot rip through doors, and the chickens don't look like this when they've been eaten by wolves. You should know this. We've seen dead chickens eaten by wolves before. Do you not want to have this conversation? So that's the third mistake. Just like horrible parenting so far. The next day, BrightBurn is at school, and they're doing like this circle trust thing, and they're like just like pushing each other and like just kind of trust falling into a bunch of people. And then they push BrightBurn onto where the little girl is, and then she like moves out of the way because like, don't touch me, you're weird. And then the coach is like, what was that? Help him up. And then she's like, no, he's a pervert. And then BrightBurn is like, you're a liar. And then the coach is like, if you don't help him up, I'm gonna fail you. And then she like goes, she's like, fuck. And then she goes and helps him up, and then BrightBurn breaks her arm. So they call the parents to the school because, hey, your kid just assaulted another student. He broke her arm. So they call the parents, and it cuts to the mom saying, Erica, he said he was sorry. Like, it's not that big a deal. Which, what the fuck are you talking about, Erica? I am so sorry that he did that to your daughter. I'm so sorry that he broke her hand. That is crazy behavior, and when we get home, we're gonna beat the fuck out of him. But no, they're like, oh, he's sorry. Like, we're gonna talk to him, and which they're probably not. But they're like, oh, we're gonna talk to him. And then the mom is like, no, we want him arrested. He's being fucking insane. We don't know where his parents came from, which they're right. They don't. Not even his parents know where his parents came from. And then the mom is like, well, no, I'm the mom. And it's like, bitch, you're being insane. Like, by not screaming in his face right now, you're being an insane mom. You know what would have happened if I would have broken a little girl's arm when I was in school? Let's just say I wouldn't be here today. And I guess that conversation opens her mind like just a little fraction, little teeny tiny bit. Because later on that night, she goes to the dad and she's like, hey, you know that night that Brandon was sleepwalking? Yeah, he wasn't sleepwalking downstairs. He was actually like at the shed, and like he was like trying to tug at the shed to like find the spaceship. It was like he was drawn to it. And the dad is like, you're telling me this now? This is fucking insane. Like, this is something we should be concerned about, because he's never bled. He's never been cut. He's never been bruised. He's not like us. He sounds like us. He looks like us, but he's not like us. And now he's like hurting people. We need to do something about it. That same night, he gets drawn to the spaceship again, but this time he finds it. And then he gets like fully possessed by the spaceship. And like he falls and then he gets cut with the spaceship. And then the mom finds him and then he's like, what is this? And then like she lets him know like, hey, by the way, you're not really from this planet. And then he's like looking at his wound and he's like, what the fuck? You guys lied to me. You guys, you're liars. So he's like all angry and shit. And then he starts like storming, he goes to the house and he starts like breaking shit, which like, don't be breaking shit in the house, but fair enough. I'm from another planet and you guys didn't think about fucking, you were never gonna tell me that I'm from another planet. That like, that's crazy. So he's right to be angry there. But do you think that they sat down and talked to him? Do you think that's what happened? I'm gonna say no. Fourth mistake. Because if they would have asked him, hey, what is the spaceship telling you? Like, you were like saying some shit. What was the spaceship telling you? He would have been like, it says take the world. He might have told them like, hey, it's telling me to take the world. Oh, that's scary. But he's still at an age that you could be like, hey, take the world might mean like, hey, take the world and protect it. Like you have powers. Like this is crazy. Like you're special. You could do great things in the world. No, they don't talk to him. Like as of right now, they could still stop him from being a mass murderer. I don't know about being a murderer, like a serial killer and like hurting people that he feels have wronged him. Maybe not. Maybe those people are gonna die. Maybe it could be like a Homelander type shit that like saves the world by day and then like serial kills people by night. Like that's way better than him being a mass murderer by far. So that same night he goes to the little girl's house and then she's so fucking scared and he's like, don't worry, don't be scared. I brought flowers. I just want you to know that I'm so special. Like I'm super special. You don't even know how special I am. Like I'm so fucking special. And then she's like, you're not supposed to be here. My mom said not to talk to you. And then he's like, don't worry, I'll fix it. So then he goes to where the little girl's mom works and then he like kills the fuck out of her and leaves like his signature all over the windows, like just to let everybody know, hey, it was BrightBurn. Like that's serial killer shit. So now that's his like first human kill. That's human kill number 1. The next morning he goes to the kitchen where his parents are and then he's like, hey mom, dad, like, you know, I've been thinking about everything and it's like, it's fine. I'm okay with it. Like I'm happy. And they're just like, oh, ooh, that's awesome. That's good, son. I'm so happy to hear that. This is another chance. I know he killed somebody, but this is another chance that they had time to sit down and talk to him and see how he's feeling. I think as silly as it sounds, that would have made a huge difference in how this movie ends. And I know that the spaceship is also influencing him, saying shit to him in his native language, I guess. But I still think that the parents could still influence him. He's still a child at the end of the day. You could influence him somehow for at least he could become a serial killer in secret. At the very least, he wouldn't be mass murdering people, just killing people one at a time here and there. That's so much better. Later on that day, we skip to him talking to the aunt because she's a counselor at the school and she's like talking to him to see like what's going on with his mind. And then he's just like, you know, I discovered that like I'm something different. I'm something better. Like I'm better than everybody. And then she's like, you know that like if you don't show remorse for the things that you do, like I'm gonna have to tell your parents. And then he's like, you can't do that. Don't tell my parents. And she's like, I'm gonna have to tell them. And then when she says like, I'm gonna tell your parents, you see it in his face that he wants to like laser her right then and there. Later on that night, the dad and the uncle are like at a bar and they're like playing pool and drinking beers and chilling and just having a good time. And BrightBurn goes and visits the aunt at her house. And he tells her, hey, like, I know you want to tell my parents, but don't do that. You can't do that. Because if you do that, it's going to be like very, very bad for you. Pretty much implying like, I'm going to kill you if you do this. Like if you tell my parents, like I'm going to have to kill you. And like, I don't want to do that. Like I'm trying to be nice here. This is him being like nice to her. He wouldn't give another, he never gave that lady a warning. The lady of the little girl, he never gave her a warning. He just killed the fuck out of her. But because he doesn't give a shit about her. But to the aunt, he's extending that courtesy. He's being nice here. And so the aunt is like, I'm gonna do my job. And like you coming to my house at this time just shows like how insane you're being. And then he's just like, all right. So he sneaks back into the house and then the uncle gets home and the uncle finds him in the closet and he's like, what the fuck, Brandon? What is this? Like, what are you doing here? You're being fucking insane. This is creepy as shit. So then as the uncle is dragging him out of the house, BrightBurn is like, are you gonna tell my parents? And the uncle is like, you're lucky if that's all I do. This is fucking insane. You can't be doing this. And then BrightBurn calmly tells him like, hey, you shouldn't tell my parents. And then BrightBurn pushes the fuck out of him. And then the uncle is like all scared and all creeped out and shit. And then he's like getting to the car and he's like, okay, this is fucking weird. This is fucking insane. Cause yeah, what the fuck was that? Like, how did he push me so hard? That hurt. Ow. So the uncle's driving home, like freaking the fuck out. And then BrightBurn kills the fuck out of him. And then like leaves his signature in the crime scene again. So it's still serial killer shit. So for now, he's like not mass murderer level. Still, you could still prevent it. Right now, you could still prevent him from being a mass murderer, I think. By the way, this whole time, BrightBurn's parents are awake in the house because they're like freaking out. Where the fuck is BrightBurn? And then he gets home without a shirt. And then he's like, oh, I got bullied while playing soccer. And they were messing with me. And they're like, oh, give me the shirt. We'll clean it. And he's like, no, it's fine. And then he like runs upstairs. And then the parents are like, did he just like lie to us? Like that he was lying, right? Like that clearly didn't happen. But no, they never go upstairs and continue investigating. They're just like, they leave it at that. Later on that night, they discovered that the uncle died. And they're talking to the wife and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like what happened? And she's like, oh, he was like driving home. And they're still like doing a toxicology report to like see if he was drinking. Then she looks at the dad and is like, oh, was he drinking? And he's like, oh, he had like 2 or 3 beers, but like nothing crazy. And then she's like, oh, did Brandon get home safe? And they're like, from your house? The next morning they go and talk to BrightBurn and they're like, hey, your uncle died. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then they're like, you understand, like he passed away. And then he's like, if you think that I hurt him, like I didn't, like I wouldn't do that. I love him. And then this is where the dad loses it and he's like, you're a fucking liar. We know that you were there last night. What were you doing there? And you hurt that lady too. And then BrightBurn is like, I'm gonna go upstairs. And the mom is trying to defuse the situation this whole time, which in this situation she's right. Like you cannot be freaking out on him. If you're suspecting him of killing the uncle in the way that the uncle died, like maybe tread a little lightly. But the dad is acting insane. He's like, oh, you're fucking liar. You're gonna tell me right now. And then he grabs BrightBurn and BrightBurn pushes the fuck out of him. And the dad is like, oh, what the fuck? And the mom is like, oh my God, are you okay? So now they're like in full panic mode because like for sure he killed the uncle, like for sure. Like there's no doubt in our minds now. Well, the dad is, because the mom is like still in denial because they go upstairs and the dad is like, hey, I found his shirt. There was blood on it. Like it was him. He killed the uncle. He killed it. And she's like, you motherfucker, how are you gonna say that our son did this? You know, and you let him drive drunk and that's why it happened. And he's like, oh, like she's being full on delusional. She has to know that like BrightBurn might have some shit to do with this, but she's like in denial. She doesn't want to hear it. So like she's part of the problem. The dad is not doing a great job either because he's like not doing what I would do. He's not doing what I would do, and what I would do would be the right thing. So if he's not doing what I would do, he's wrong. Later that night, the dad is like, oh, I'm gonna take Brandon hunting. Like I think it's time. Like I think it's time for me to take him hunting. And she's like, oh, okay. And she just seems like happy about it, like that he's gonna go take their murderous son hunting. So he goes and takes BrightBurn hunting, and then while they're hunting, BrightBurn is like looking at tracks, and the dad shoots him with a rifle, and like BrightBurn turns around and he's like, did you just try to kill me, motherfucker? And then murders the fuck out of him, because fair enough, you just tried to shoot me in the head. So now you have to die. Which, that's how you know the mom didn't talk to the dad saying like, hey, by the way, the spaceship cut Brandon. So the dad might have had the idea of like breaking a piece of the metal of the spaceship, because you could break the spaceship, break a piece of the metal, melt it down into a bullet, and shoot him with that bullet. Because if you know that he's never been cut or bled or anything before, and you find out that the metal in the spaceship breaks, maybe he would have had the idea of melting it down into the bullet, and it might have worked when he shot at Brandon. But he didn't do that because she didn't have that conversation with him, so now he's dead. While that's happening, the sheriff shows up at her house and he's like, is Brandon around? And she's like, no, he went hunting with the dad. And then he's like, oh, have you seen this signature before? And she's like, no, I haven't. And then the sheriff is like, okay, I'll be back. So she goes into the room and she finds a bunch of pictures of like the signature all over his binder, and then pictures of like people dying, and like pictures of him like taking over the world. And then she freaks the fuck out, and then now she's like not delusional anymore, but it's like too little too late, bitch. So she calls the dad's phone, and then she's like, oh my God, you're right, it was him all along. BrightBurn did it. BrightBurn killed all of them. It's him. He's a murderer. And then she hears on the other line, Mom? And then she's like, where's your father? And then he's like, you know. And then she's like, no, I don't know. And then he's like, I'm home. So he starts terrorizing the mom and like ripping the house apart and like breaking it apart. And then she calls the cops, and the cops get there, and he kills the fuck out of both of them. Again, he killed them because like, hey, you guys are trying to stop me. Like, just don't get in my way and I won't kill you. So far, as crazy as it seems, there's still hope and a chance that he won't become a mass murderer. I know it sounds insane, but just bear with me. So Brendan is terrorizing the house and shit. And then like she gets out of the house and like goes to the shed and breaks a piece of metal of the spaceship, and then she's like, Brandon, where are you? Hi, sweetie, where are you? And then she finds him wearing the mask, and she takes off the mask from him, and then she's like, oh my god, sweetie, I love you so much, you're my little boy. So as she's talking to him, they hug each other, and then she goes as slow as possible, because it's not like he has fucking super speed or anything, which you just saw. No, she goes as slow as possible, extends her hand as fucking far as possible, as obvious as possible that she's gonna stab him. So she goes to stab him, and then he grabs her arm, and then he's like, you were gonna fucking kill me, bitch? So he breaks through the roof with her, which fucks her up, takes her up to the sky, and then he like looks at her and then lets her go. Before her stabbing him, she could still talk to him, and like she would have had to eat it and like pretend like she still loved him and like wasn't gonna try to hurt him or anything like that, and like say like, hey, we're gonna try to keep all of this a secret, we're gonna try to work together, but like you can't be doing, like she would have had to eat it and like been a mother figure to a monster. And I think that could have stopped him from being a mass murderer. I think once he saw that she was the one that betrayed him, he was done, and then he becomes a mass murderer, because like as soon as he kills her, he sees a plane coming towards him, and then he destroys the fuck out of the plane, killing everybody on board, and then that's when he goes on his rampage and murders a bunch of people and starts killing people by the hundreds. And now he's a mass murderer, because just literally because of bad parenting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give a like and subscribe if you haven't. Have a good night, good time, good luck.